Morning YouTube. Welcome to the Jim of All Trades channel. Glad you're here. I'm Jim. We're just going to jump right into the charts this morning. Right after a couple of things, I want to invite you to the Litecoin swing trading community. If you're brand new, we have a great community of traders here. It's a free group, of course, and it's a good learning environment as well. Want to also just thank you for subscribing. Those of you who subscribed, we hit 500 last night, and then we back down to 498. So we're hovering around 500 subscribers. It's pretty good. So I'm thankful. Glad you're aboard. I hope you're enjoying the channel. Don't forget to leave me a like on this video. That helps drive the YouTube algorithm. Throw a comment down there. Let me know what you're thinking about the channel. You know, if there's any chart you'd like to see. I'm going to be working on Sunday probably. I'm going to be maybe doing a live stream in the evening hours, and we'll look at any chart you want to look at. Also, let's see what else. Also want to just mention just a thank you to Meyer, who just became another Patreon as well. I've got a bunch of people messaging me this morning. Sorry about that. Hey, thanks, Meyer. I really appreciate you joining me on Patreon. I'm really working hard to do this full time, guys. I want to transition to full time trading, and this YouTube channel is part of that. Is part of that. So, yeah. Any help that I get, any gifts, any support that I get outside of outside of what I do for a living, it's just going to help me move that much closer to that. So if you're liking the content, if you're making good trades and making money, several people, I think I had somebody mention yesterday they're up 30%. Had another comment the other day, their account is up 25% because of the trades that I've been calling. So if you're making that kind of money, if you want to send some this way, I sure appreciate it. But I'm not here shilling for money or anything like that. But man, that would help me get full time closer. So yeah, I do have a Patreon. I've got tip jars. You're welcome to at the where in the description box there, you're welcome to help me out there. But I've never mentioned those before, so I probably won't be mentioning them again. So anyway, until then, hey, I just want to say thank you, just a very thank you. I'm so humbled that you would give and you'd support. So I really appreciate it. Okay, let's look at the charts this morning, and don't want to remind you that I am making this series of videos here. We've got 3 of them so far. I'm going to have another one coming out about market makers probably tonight or tomorrow, and then we're going to move into Elliott Wave trading as well. So the videos are coming. All right, let's jump in. Let's see what Litecoin is doing. We're going to look at Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, what are we doing here? You look at yesterday's video if you want to know any details about the major counts. We came down. I was expecting that this was actually 5 waves to the upside, but it really wasn't 5 waves. It certainly looks like 5 waves. It was. And here come the yawns, but that's okay. I just got up and want to get this video out to you. So several people are messaging me this morning wanting to know what to do, and I'll just do my best to help you. Yeah, so yeah, this looked very reversalish yesterday. It was really a good entry when we entered down here, and a lot of us entered down here in the swing trading community, and that was a good entry. And I called an exit up here. I called the top to the T. We put the fibs on it, and and so if you're not part of that swing trading community, you're missing out on some things that you don't get on the YouTube channel. So just come on in. I often post there. So most of us exited here, and we were fine. So this dip didn't bother us at all. It didn't take away any profits. But most of us got back in because I was calling around $91 to get in. So most of us got in between $88 and $91, and it just kept going. And so now the question is, what do we do? It's still not a bad entry at between $88 and $91. It did come down for one more leg here, one more push. So the question becomes, what is all this right here? Is this and my answer is I don't know, but let me tell you what I think it could be. Some options here. Um, First off, when we put the fibs here on this, um, we've got a move here that has not gone past the 1-to-1 extension. Really, it's just hovering right around the 1-to-1 extension. So it looks very much like we had a corrective wave. Now, if we push up here past the 1618, if we have a big old candle that takes us up there or whatever, that's going to change things. That's going to make it different. But right now we've got a 1618. Excuse me, a 1-to-1 extension here that seems to be holding us. We're hovering right around there. So we may have another push to the downside. That this could be like a 4 wave. The only problem I have with that is that it just looks a little bit too big to be a 4 wave. It is certainly possible that 5 waves is complete and we're heading to the upside. That being said, most often when we have a bottom, we do come up a little bit, and then we have this like a rounded. I've said this in other videos. We have this backwards, kind of like a backwards H. We'll kind of come up, and it'll just come back down. It'll retest that bottom, and then we go up from there. And that's often the shape. If you want to see that, you can just kind of see that all over the place in Litecoin. Just you can see it right here. We came up, we came down, we came up again, and then we got that backwards H, and then boom, we went to the upside. You can see it right here. We kind of hit a little bit of a bottom, came up, we came back down, and then went to an upside again. And that's the shape of the bottoms. When there's a bounce, and so. That's kind of a common thing, and so that's kind of what I'm looking for. Let's just kind of take a peek and see if we can see any more of them, just so you can understand how this helps us trade a little bit. And so you can kind of see it again here. We came down, we hit a bottom, came back down and retested that bottom, and then went up. And so I mean, actually, if I draw it like that, it looks more like a W, right? Hit the bottom, came back, that little H, and then went off to the upside. Okay, came down, hit the bottom, okay, and then up to the upside. So that's just the shape of corrections here in Litecoin. So that's kind of what I'm looking at in Litecoin here. I'm looking for this to come up and then to retest the bottom and come back down. So that's if we're heading higher, and so that's what we're looking for. Now. This shape right here, this wave is really hard to make a lot of sense of. It could be an ABC, and just that last push just took me by surprise. Only because just the shape of what was being made before. But that's okay. When we have good entries like we do at the bottoms of these waves, we're not that far off, and it's not too scary in our trades. We can hold that for a couple of dollars down to the downside. So this still looks very 5-wave-ish. I don't know how to count that as 3 waves, so still looking 5 waves. This is still looking kind of 3-wave-ish here, guys. So I'm not super worried. Not super worried about what's going on. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a 5-wave. That's the way I'm counting it, at least right now. Then we've got that wave right there. When we look at that, we've come down to the 1276. We haven't broken the 1618 yet. We are still corrective. Now, if we get another push down to the downside and we break this blue line, then we're going to be rethinking our count. But this is still looking corrective. Let's see what this does. I wouldn't mind seeing another push to the upside first, and that would make me feel a lot better if we came up in this region, but $92 region. That would really kind of solidify and confirm for me an upside move. We'd still be looking for that downside 2-wave, but that being said, we'd still be looking for that downside 2-wave. But that would confirm that we're probably going to head up. So if we come up here to the $92 range in that ballpark off this wave, we got really good confirmation that we're probably going to come down, retest the bottom here, and then come on and then head on up. So if you haven't entered the trade, that's a good area on this pullback. That's where you want to enter. You do not want to enter right now. This is the worst place in the world to enter. So if we get a little bit of a push up and then it ends up coming down like that, this is a great place to enter for the upside as a good high probability trade. Now, why do we enter on these pullbacks? Well, we enter on these down candles. Some people say, no, we need to wait for confirmation. Baloney. You wait for confirmation, you get stuck in bad trades. That's coming out in my tutorial. So yeah, I mean, shoot. Here's what happens. You get this breakout, right, and then this wave comes, and you say, "Oh yeah, we reached up here. We waited. We got confirmation." And so you get in up here. What happens? It pulls back against you. Now that wasn't so bad, but maybe you might have said, "Hey, we passed this wave here," and you get in this candle. Well, look what happens. I mean, just you wait for confirmation, you get busted. What we do is we wait for fib levels. We wait for the price to come down to our Fibonacci regions, and then we get in at the bottom of those candles and we nail the bottoms. So if it continues down, we've got stop losses very, very close to right underneath of that area, so we're not losing much. And then we just wait for it to, if there's another push or another push, we wait for it and we get a better entry. Even if we lost a little here, it doesn't matter because we're saving our cash. We're saving our cash here so we can buy more. So if you enter here and then you just hold it, and if it ends up coming down here and then goes up, well, you're on the way down you're losing, and on the way down you're gaining it back. But if you stop it out, and then you keep your cash, you actually get to buy several more Litecoin at this price. So that's why we hold our cash to the bottoms rather than hold bad trades for any length of time. And I've been trying to explain that and talk to you about that. So, all right. Anyway, that being said, looking, this just looks like a market maker push to the downside. It's still looking. Counting this wave is pretty difficult. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, I don't like any of the subdivision here at all. I just don't like what it looks like. So let's be weird. Let's be careful here. Let's be smart. Let's look at the RSI. The RSI, that's in the 1 hour chart. We've got divergence on the 1 hour chart. To some degree, we've got room to come back down to make a push down to the downside, but there is divergence on the 1 hour chart. I'd say we're still probably looking good for the upside. It's not a bad trade right now. So if we continue coming down and break this low, it's still not necessarily a bad trade. We might have another push to the downside. I can't guarantee that we won't, but we won't know that we're going down completely until we break this low down here. And even then, if we break the low, it's not a guarantee that we're heading down. So what I'm saying is that we are close to a bottom of a wave and ready for a reversal. We have reached fib levels for that. We have come up in 5 waves, where it looks like we've come down in 3 waves, but that's a little hard to reach. But for me, on this 4 hour chart, it's looking pretty reversalish off this bottom. So I'm still long. I haven't jumped out of my trade yet. I've got a little bit more of a high tolerance for risk. So you're gonna have to decide. And I said last night, if there could be another push down, but I can't guarantee there's another push down. So trading is risky, guys, and so we do the best we can to nail the bottoms, but at the end of the day, sometimes you jump in and you hope, you set your stop and you expect some kind of loss, and you try to have good psychology along the way. I didn't have such great psychology here at the bottom of this wave. And so I missed this whole move right here. I had to get in on the second push on when it came back down. Just because I teach psychology doesn't mean I'm always perfect in my psychology. I'm still working on being consistent in my psychology, but the market still gets me on occasion, even though I know what it does. Every trader there's no perfect trader in the world, but we're always trying to grow. Okay, we've looked pretty heavily at Litecoin. Let me just dig in just for one more chance here, see what I can see, and give you any price projections or any difference. Let's see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a good chance we're just going to come up here for a 5 wave, and that's pretty cool. It's kind of a it's a kind of a diagonalish wave, so that's a possible count. The other possible count is that this is just a four wave, but it's awful up to me. It's just kind of an odd shape for sure. I don't know if it's market maker shenanigans or what, but you know, you can see how we kind of went diagonally up here as well, and that might give us a clue as to what's coming next. And in fact, take a peek at that. We often want to look at fractals. Take a look at that and take a look at that. This was, you know, just kind of diagonally up, and then we shot up. I mean, it's the same shape here. So to me, I'd probably stay in and uh, let's take the chance because this is looking pretty good. In fact, the candle's kind of moving to the upside. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing there. Let's take, you know, Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing the same thing, except we're a little clearer on the Bitcoin chart. In fact, Bitcoin is a lot clearer right now. Let's take a peek at that. So this is Bitcoin. Let's do the fibs here. Yep, definitely got upside to go on Bitcoin. It's looking, you see our backwards H being formed right now, and the shape of it. I think this is going to be a reversal wave, guys. Just the way it's looking. It's looking pretty, at least a good bounce. It may not be a reversal wave, but it could be a good bounce. But it looks like we have 5 finished waves, and this wave right here should be expecting a bounce. So if you're in this, I wouldn't fear too much staying in. The one-to-one extension is 98. The 1276 is 9865. So watch the 9865 level, I would say, and see what it does. But you know, this is looking like it's going to be heading up. I'm not guaranteeing it, and when I say that, I'm just telling you what I think. Okay, don't make all your trading decisions based on what I think. I'm sometimes wrong, but I'm telling you what I see, and I just want to be clear about what I'm promising. I am not giving financial advice, but you know, we do have Litecoin starting to make a move right now, so that's pretty great. At least it's looking like it's heading up a little bit more. Let's throw the fibs on that guy again. Show where it should be coming. We need to see it get past 91 substantially. We need to see it get past 92, and that's going to be an upside confirmation. So don't forget that. Bitcoin's looking to the upside right now. Let's look at Ethereum as well. Yeah, Ethereum's looking just like Litecoin right now. So let's throw the fibs there. We need to see Ethereum get past 213 for a confirmation to the upside, and we need to see Bitcoin. Not Bitcoin. Yeah, we need to see Ethereum with a confirmation candle up here past 213 somewhere, and then we should see a downside move potentially. This could all be a one wave followed by this large two, and then up for three, or we could have an A wave, and it could come up here. We're gonna have a B wave, and then up there for C. So look at yesterday's video for upside targets. I gave all of those yesterday in the chart, and then those targets are still going to be in play today for the most part. There's not going to be much difference. Those targets might be slightly lower because we had a slightly low down push, but they're not going to be off too much. Okay. Yeah, so check out yesterday's video for those targets. I don't want to take any more time. I want to get this video out so you guys can make your decisions. You guys have a fantastic Wednesday. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share some love in the comments, give me some feedback, and let's just keep this channel rolling. If you like what I'm doing, you want to help me out, I do have a Patreon. Check it out in the description. All right, we'll talk to you later. You have a great Wednesday. Bye-bye.